The eviction moratorium has had unintended consequences for small landlords. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. Alright, so I have an interesting article for you today, and it's going to go over exactly why some people believe that the eviction moratorium has had unintended consequences for small landlords, mom and pop landlords throughout the entire country. But before I get into that article, go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button. Maybe leave a comment down below, and I'll work to keep bringing you great articles about the eviction moratorium and other news that's of interest to landlords. Now, as you can see, I am not at my normal location where I do my recording. I'm actually in a hotel right now, as I'm out of town for a little while, and I'm going to still work to bring you a video every day that's talking about the eviction moratorium or other stuff. So let's get into this article. Now, this article, it comes to us from forbescom, and it says, for smaller landlords, rent moratoriums just pass the payment buck up the chain. And yeah, I mean, I've talked about how the moratoriums really are hurting the small landlords because they want us to be the low-cost housing providers for the poor or the homeless shelters for the homeless. And that's not our job. We are businesses. We're trying to make money, and we're going to continue to try to make money. But if we can't remove non-paying tenants from these units, we're just going to suffer. So let's get into it. Keep living in an apartment without paying rent? In the before times, it would have been unthinkable, at least without a concerted legal battle with an angry landlord. During the COVID-19 pandemic, though, all that went out the window. Congress first put an eviction moratorium into place from March 27th to July 24th, 2020, during a time when many millions were out of work. Then the pandemic continued, and Congress and the U.S. Centers for Disease Control started taking turns, extending moratoriums to stop people being turned out into a world of contagion and potentially spreading it. And I've gone over a few times why I believe that the whole point of, the eviction moratorium stopping the spread is BS. And I've read articles about how they manipulated the statistics in order to show that somehow evictions would spread the coronavirus. And, a lot of people believe that's not true. I don't believe it's true. Now, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a statistician, right? But the ones who did study it figured out that, hey, this might not be 100% accurate, that evictions might not actually have spread the coronavirus any more than it already was spread. So, that whole purpose behind the CDC's moratorium might be complete garbage. But I'm not going to say either way because, like I said, I am not an expert on the issue. I'll just say that do your own research, make up your own mind on it. But at this point in time, it's time for these moratoriums to come to an end, okay? We have a large portion of the population that's vaccinated. The deaths and the hospitalizations have dropped down to almost nothing. And even the Delta variant hasn't been able to break through and get a lot more people infected who have already been vaccinated. So let's just end this now. Let's get things back to normal. Things are back to normal almost everywhere else except for in terms of this eviction moratorium. So landlords are the ones who are still suffering throughout all of this. The latest CDC imposed moratorium extension, which was announced at the end of June, is meant to be the last one, according to the agency, even though the Supreme Court just weighed in to say the CDC exceeded its authority and congressional action should have been necessary for the extension. The ruling allowed the current extension to remain in place. When it expires, renters will have to start paying again or risk eviction and court. But it's been a long time coming, and many landlords aren't happy. Many have lost money, and some say they're on the point of bankruptcy due to unpaid mortgages. The moratoriums had led to legal challenges over the CDC's powers, but the new Supreme Court ruling seems to make clear that Congress could take such action in the future. And that's the problem, right? The Supreme Court left it in place that Congress could still somehow extend this moratorium. And the problem is that it's unconstitutional, in my opinion. Okay, the Supreme Court should have ruled that any sort of moratorium such as this is unconstitutional because it's an unconstitutional taking of property, okay, of private property, and the government just can't do that. Not for Congress, not for anything, unless you change the Constitution itself. But I'm not the expert. I'll just keep saying that. I'm not the expert. I'm just a small property owner who is out there looking out for other small property owners and believing that a lot of the things that have been going on lately just are not right, they're not fair, and probably not legal. However, the most important issue may not be whether the government has such broad powers to intervene in the real estate industry when it concerns public health. Instead, it may be that government policies built upon good intentions can appear helpful on the surface, but lead to unintended consequences without proper planning and foresight. Legal grounds. The impact of moratoriums has been most difficult for the smallest landlords. Large-scale property owners were largely able to weather the storm because they have the cushion to cover monthly expenses like taxes, heating oil, electric, employee wages, according to Michelle Quinn, a partner at the New York City real estate law firm Gallant, Dreyer and Berkey. But smaller-scale landlords, like me, even those who have 5, 6, 7 units where they live in one and rent out the others, said Quinn, simply don't have those resources. Really, the landlords are the party taking the brunt of the effect of the pandemic, she argued. And I agree with that, okay? Now, I'm not personally suffering, but I am out here to represent the landlords who are suffering and put their stories out there, which is why I keep bringing these videos, because I want people to know. And every video might only get a few hundred views, but every video is, just doing a little bit more to get the message out there that some landlords are not doing well during this eviction moratorium nonsense. Quinn said while the rental moratoriums may have been necessary to stem COVID, I don't agree with that, but she does, little thought was paid to what landlords should do, with banks still expecting mortgage payments. Many owners, she said, were in fact left in the lurch after missing months of payments. I have 2 cases in high-end co-op and condo where the tenants just left, Quinn said. They're giving tenants a break, but not giving a landlords a break. Yeah, they're giving tenants all these breaks. Landlords still got to pay their mortgage, still got to pay their taxes, still got to pay their insurance, still got to pay their utilities, still got to pay for maintenance, still got to pay property management, still got to do all this stuff and pull all this money out of their pocket, or they risk complete ruin, okay? The government caused this. The government's the one who needs to fix this. That means that if the government said you can no longer do business, then the government also needs to say, well, here is the rental assistance, and here there's no strings attached to it. We stopped you from being able to get paid, so here is your just compensation. And they didn't do it like that. Instead, they directed all that money to the tenants, and they made landlords jump through 1,000 hoops just to get the money that they already deserved. Okay, and that's just not right. Paul Getty, CEO of First Guardian Group, which provides services for real estate investors, including many mom-and-pop owners, said many of his clients say they have been unable to get payments from tenants who did not appear to have lost income. It's a financial crisis for our landlords, Getty said. He said that while larger-scale owners were able to navigate the options made available by federal, state, and local governments for landlords to avoid foreclosure, for many people who bought into 1 or 2 properties to build wealth, it was less feasible. Yeah, I've been saying that for a while, okay? It is a lot harder for a small landlord to have survived this and to have gotten the rental assistance, because these big landlords, they can jump through all these hoops. They have large emergency reserves. They have so many units that even if some aren't paying rent, they can weather the storm. And a small landlord with just a few properties or a few units, they can't do that, okay? Or if they do try to do it, they're going to eventually hit the wall where they are in deep trouble, okay? So like me, for example, I have 12 rental units that I own, okay? But the thing is that I only have so much emergency reserve. So if I had tenants that weren't paying, I am paying out of pocket to make sure that they stay in their house and that could eat up all of my profits and even take money from my personal bank accounts in order to keep that property afloat. And that isn't the way that this was set up to be, and I don't believe in it. So it's a interesting article. I'm not going to finish it. It's just more of the same, but just it really is passing the low income housing crisis and homelessness crisis on to private individuals like landlords. And I just don't believe that is the smartest thing to do. As the government, they're the ones who are supposed to be helping, and instead they're hurting businesses.